We're live
We are live
with
now.
our voices,
Yes.
with our voices being heard. Okay.
Welcome to the Grand Prix of Long Beach, brought to you tonight by Orange Logic.
Did you just say Grand Prix?
Yeah, what?
Welcome everybody to the Vector Sim Racing League Orange Logic Grand Prix of Long Beach. Brought to you live from Southern California on the streets of Long Beach. It is qualifying for round number 4 of season 2 of the IndyCar series. Is right now everybody on the warm-up laps. Got about 5 or 6 drivers on track right now. Whole gaggle of them coming off the pits. Before anybody gets to put their time in, based upon what we saw last night, and based upon the nature of this track and all street courses, starting up front is vital. So whoever can end up putting, I think maybe top 4 is where you're going to need to be. It's 50-lap race. It's a long race. So don't know that to be the case, but I really think if you're not in the top 4 after this session, good luck.
Tonight's Grand Prix of Long Beach is brought to you by Orange Logic. Orange Logic is trusted by Fortune 100 brands that want to keep their digital assets secure and organized. Visit orangelogic.com to learn more.
I want to thank everybody involved in Orange Logic who's going to be tuning in tonight. If you're not tuned in yet, still got about 7.5 minutes till the race kicks off, but everybody who's in here tonight from the folks at Orange Logic, I want to thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank you guys for being a part of this league this week, this particular race. Supporter of Ryan Depew, who's been on the car ever since the beginning. Ryan Depew looking to have a good night. Ended up having a pretty solid night last night in the VSRL Sports Car Challenge. Ended up bringing it home top 5 in race number 2. Just being out there, surviving the attrition, and I think that might be the case tonight as well.
Yeah, I ended up falling asleep, but I almost thought about broadcasting.
Yeah.
Since I've been off of work.
Thanks, Trent. It would have been a good night.
Thanks to someone getting COVID, I'm off work, so
You don't have to.
I don't have to.
Austin point leader Austin Saar currently up top with a 108.275. Second place, William Brennan with a 110. So he's got about Austin Saar already out to a 2-second advantage on the rest of the field, as we're already about 40% of the way through qualifying.
Right there. Nice white paint car.
Joey Villamaret pops it up to second place with a 108.9. Still about half a second off the leader.
Scott Seeger sitting in 4th. Still no time for the Orange Logic car, but there's still enough where why is that not working? There we go. Just had someone message me that said, I'm in the VSRL league, but not in Discord, so could I have anybody give it to them? If you join. Got about 5 minutes left of qualifying. Austin Starr still having it up there. Joey Vilmaretti going to try to take that top spot away with William Brennan right behind in 3rd. Got a 4th place time now with Troy Merritt. Will Lindsay in 5th and Scott Segrist 6th. Scott Segrist is stopped at the track at the moment. But we shall see how this comes. fun track though. It's like it's difficult.
It is very fun. It's just very difficult. It's very tedious. That's how I feel about all the street circuits, and throw Canada in there too. So really, honestly, for these guys, this is honestly the second time this season they've had to deal with this kind of track where, really you push it too far over the edge and your night's basically over. So tonight is twice as bad, and it's twice as long.
Yeah, I still think we need to get the Belle Isle one on the schedule.
One day. I don't know if it'll be next season, but Trent, one day we will race in Belle Isle.
That is a great track. I want to go for at least.
Qualifying winding down here. Now is the time to be out there getting your lap set up. If we're going to see somebody get up there and beat Austin Sarr, it's going to be happening here pretty soon. If you haven't started to go out and get your lap, you're going to be down to just about less than a minute to get your last one in. We see Ryan Depew, Taylor Woods, Robert Majors. None of them have opted to head out on the track right now. James Pierce on a flyer. First flying lap right now as he gets to the middle sector of the track.
I think that's your message, right? It up to second though.
Yeah, very close. Less than half a second off.
Ooh, almost clips the corner right there. James Pierce does. We'll see. Does he have enough? Nope, loses it. So this
coming down to the wire now, just about a minute.
Yeah, with a minute to go.
Like I said at the beginning of qualifying, I think you're really going to need to be top 4 or 5 to have a chance at this race, just because of how simply hard it is to navigate traffic.
Yeah, that's very true. But the thing is, I had someone on top of my mind. Oh yeah, Austin Sarr. Don't remember who qualified on the pole last week, but very solid on the poles this season. I think if he gets this one, it'll be 3 or 4. Still no sighting of last season's champion.
No, he's playing the elusive role. Hasn't been seen, I think, since Homestead of last season. So he's missed the last 2 races of last season, and he's missed all of them this season. But
yeah.
I'm confident that eventually we'll see him back out here.
I mean, so we will have a new champion this year. Actually, no sighting of both Pelicans. And there we go. Qualifying is finished, and Austin Sarr does bring it home on the pole.
All right, Trent, step out for 2 seconds. You can go over the starting grid if you'd like. I'm going to do a quick meeting with everybody.
Alrighty, bud. We got, like I just said, guys, Austin Sarr on the pole, Matt Brewer second, Joey Villaretti in third, William Brennan in fourth.
If I dive, I'm going to make sure that the rear comes out so I hit someone.
Let me just, sorry. I'm going to get him muted. Okay, William Brennan fourth. Will Lindsay fifth. Troy Moret 6th, Scott Seeger 7th, Brian Edwards 8th, and then Kyle Ritchie, Bruce Rivers, Ryan Depew, Taylor W. Woods, James A. Peters, and Robert Majors. Garrett Helminger's up in the booth with me. We just want to thank you for tuning into the booth. This is one of our first sponsored events, and I mean, nothing coming from it, but we just want to thank you, and we appreciate that. Like I said, Ryan does a lot for this league, so it means so much that they want to come out and just have a night for him. Like I said earlier, Orange Logic. I've looked into them myself before, actually. They're kind of a cool company. They're trusted by Fortune 100 brands that want to keep their digital assets secure and organized. And if you want to check them out, it's orangelogic.com. They also have I think it's Orange Logic. I'd have to look that up. I know they have a sim racing app, like a sim Orange Logic Racers maybe or something. Let me look at that. Yeah, I'm not seeing it at the moment, but I know I saw it earlier, but yeah, they're just a pretty interesting company. We are getting ready to grid here. Have that pace truck take us down. Getting ready here. 1 lap to green. We're going to have our own pace lap through, and we'll be good to go. I hear them getting ready. They're getting all set. Good to go. We're off, rolling, and we are pacing.
All right, Trent. It's going to be a little weird on the start. These guys are not going to be going until the leader gets to the start-finish line.
Okay, all right. How you doing, Dan? Thanks for tuning in, man. We hope you have a good night. Thank you for coming in and watching.
Green flag, green flag.
Here we go. Not going until the leader hits the start.
Just about to get going, and we are going here at Long Beach for the Orange Logic Grand Prix. We race down to turn number 1. This is the money line down into turn number 1. They're pretty fanned out.
Yeah, and this is why we did that, just so they can get through the rear. No. Ooh, Austin Starr locks it up.
I think a lot of these guys are going to be pushing pretty damn hard, and I don't think they realize just how cold these tires are right now.
Oh,
These
yeah.
tires and the brakes, and Robert Majors almost loses it going into turn 3.
Hey, thank you, Clayport Productions, man. Ryan does so much for this league. It is. I don't
We got a
know.
crash, Trent.
Ooh,
Joey Villavanette started 3rd, currently sitting still.
We'll go back so the viewers can see.
He's going to end up dropping all the way back to the back of the field from that. And that's something that I noticed last night, Trent, that you get into problems on some parts of this track that's so narrow that you literally have no choice but to sit there and watch every car go by you before you're able to rejoin.
That is rough, but he did seem to get it up. No problems. Got it right back going. We'll get you right back up to the leader here. Austin Starr has a decent gap, about 5 seconds already, and we're only 2 laps into this race.
William Brennan spins going into turn 1. Jumps the curb and spins. Like I said just a second ago, he's going to back her into the wall, getting back going. He's just got to sit there, and he's at the mercy of the field right now because he's got to sit there and watch every single car go by him before he can safely rejoin that pack. He was having a good night, and man, I tell you what, he damn near got it last night. Second race in that, he dominated that race last night.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming in, Rafael and Bianca. We'll get plenty of screen time on Ryan tonight for you guys. Just early in this race, focusing on the leaders at the moment. Ryan DePuy sitting 11th at the moment, but we will get plenty of screen time for him tonight. Don't you guys worry.
Tell you what, 3rd and 4th are making a move with Matt Brewer.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, and it looks tight.
Scott Segrist and James Pierce. And then you got a little bit of a gap back to 5th of Brian Edwards.
We'll come back here. We'll do a little focus on this battle. Matt Brewer, Scott Segrist.
Scott Segrist with a new scheme out tonight. Typically we see him in that McLaren car. Tonight we've got him in a... What is that? The silver and red Haviland machine. The 74 of Scott Segrist looking good out here in Long Beach tonight.
We like that one. Right behind him. I mean, I could be wrong.
We got ourselves about 3 cars under a blanket right here. Any of them blip up at all, they're losing those spots.
A new guy into the lead, Troy. Right there in 4th.
This is James Pierce.
Oh, my thing said Troy. Oh, my bad.
James Pierce around the outside trying to get it done on Scott Segrist. He's going to get it done. He's going to clear him as we head into the hairpin section.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why I had that.
Tell you what, this battle happening right behind Matt Brewer, he's got to be watching it in his mirror because he's got to be paying attention to that battle in his mirror because he lost half a second to leader Austin Starr that past lap.
And we do have a James Pierce fan in here that looks like anything.
Oh no, Ryan DePuy.
Oh, knocks off the front wing.
Where did that happen at?
Not sure.
Looks like going into turn 1, he just got too hard on the brakes. Just sent it right into the right side wall going into turn 1. He's got that right front tent over. Did you get a chance to see the accident?
I did not. I'm going to go back to it.
Lap 3, turn 1. It's going to be a rough start to Ryan DePuy. I talked to Ryan earlier, and his plan for tonight was basically do what he did last night and just take advantage of the attrition, and it looks like that he was not able to do so tonight.
Like
not so far.
It looked like there was a little bit faster car, and then he was trying to let him go and just took the corner too wide, too shallow.
And I tell you what, we have a wreck in the hairpin between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Ooh, that's James Pierce, Scott Segrist, James Pierce going into the pits, Matt Brewer.
It looks like going to the hairpin. Honestly, it was just 2 drivers not knowing where they were going to run. James Pierce trying to make a wide apex to the turn, and Matt Brewer was just not letting it go right there. Drove it just a little bit deep. They make contact. Top 3, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th make contact, and they all get stuck together. Closing the gap. Brian Edwards nowhere to go. Scott Segrist ramps over the nose of James Pierce right there and instantly pits.
That's rough.
That's going to change the dynamic of this race.
Which puts a hurting on William Brennan as well because he had to just sit there while all that got sorted out.
I tell you what, that's going to change the dynamic of this race because
that puts Robert.
That was really the only time that we're going to see cars battling like that 5 laps into this run because now we're not going to get a caution. It's too late for that. But cars battling like that into the run, going for position like that, and you just get that many of them where you have no choice but to push harder. Accidents are going to end up happening, and it happened at probably the single worst spot I think that we will ever go to cause an accident like that because there's no way to get around it. You just have to stop and wait.
Oh, that's the thing about these these street courses. They're so narrow that if anything happens,
Robert Major, second place over Droves, turn 1.
which kind of
That's going to give Troy Moreau second place. Move Kyle Ritchie up into third now.
right there. I mean, just trying to hold on, but I think he's a lap down. I can't see at the moment, but yeah, Ryan is 1 lap down, but he is trying to just hold on. I mean, unfortunately, no cautions. He's not going to get that unless he just drives the wheels off and gets it back. But that's all right. I mean,
Scott Segrist has completely totaled that. He's no rear wing, totaled it going into the last turn. Tell you what, the attrition is starting to take place because these guys got on cold tires after that pit stop, and it kind of threw him for a loop. It looks like.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be the end of Scott Seager's night. That's his second wreck. Back up here, Dieter Weeder, Austin Saar.
I tell you what, something that these drivers, I'm not sure if they realize or not, and I'm sure some of them are actually, catching on and adapting, but this is a hot track right now. I know that this happened to us at Indianapolis,
Yep.
where it just consistently got hotter and hotter and hotter as the night went on, and which ended up making it where you really had to drive the track.
Yep.
We're sitting at 66 degrees ambient right now with a track temp of 111 degrees.
That's a hot track. That is.
Grip is inevitably going to get worse, which is going to make these guys have to hunker down. Austin Saar coming to the start-finish line to start lap 8 has amassed a 20-second lead. So I think he's definitely in the driver's seat unless he does something to ruin that.
Oh, I mean, we're 8 laps into a 50-lap street course race. I mean, he's afforded himself time so he can make a couple mistakes. But I mean, from what we learned, Austin Farr real comfortable on these road courses. He said he loves the street courses from what we talked the other day. Right there, he almost gets it to slide out on him. So, I mean, what we've learned, so far, nothing's guaranteed. So, one small mistake, I hand that over to second. Trying to figure out what is. We only have 8 cars on the lead lap. So after Robert Majors just quit. He was trying to get this until the night. I'm not really sure.
It gets really interesting right around this time of the race because, the track is obviously changing, and for the worse, saying that it is changing for the worse, that these guys are having to adapt.
Yeah.
When do you pit? Do you make it a one? I do believe this race is short enough to make it a one-stop race. Cut it halfway, but I just don't know if the tires are going to survive that far.
We've already seen it. So, if it's me, I think I'm breaking it.
If I was out here tonight, I think that I'm not doing a one-stop strategy because I think that you benefit enough from the new tires on a track like this with the condition that it's in. You benefit enough by doing the two stops based upon the time that you would lose from sacrificing to make a one-stop.
Well, I think I'd pit on lap 20.
Don't even know if that made sense. Had no idea what I was just saying.
No, I think I'd pit on lap 20 and lap 40 and then have 10 laps. Both the tires will be fine for the last 10 laps. So you make it 20. So.
Big mover on the night so far. Kyle Ritchie, through 10 laps, has gone from 10th to 3rd. Playing the strategy that a lot of people wish they were playing right now who started back in the back, and that is basically surviving the chaos.
Yeah. James Pierce gets it back out there, though. There's 2 laps down, but that's all right. Get it out there for experience. I mean, still, a lot can happen, so every point matters.
You know, a lot of these guys, you say that every point matters, and I think tonight points are on the mind of the drivers who have a chance tonight because.
Who is that?
Well, turn 1?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who it is.
Yep, Will Lindley just overdrove it, caked it right into the wall. But like I was saying, points are definitely on the minds of those who are in contention to win this championship tonight. Because after tonight, you have a week to think about it, and then we go racing at Michigan, and it's double points. And we saw how much weight Indianapolis carried last season.
Yeah.
So here in 2 weeks, you have the opportunity to make or break your season if you're running for a championship. You could have won all 3 races tonight. You go out there and you have a bad night at Michigan in 2 weeks, and it's going to change the course of your season.
Which hurts.
You know, Trent, I've really enjoyed moving up into the broadcasting booth with you this season, but I am not going to miss it at all in 2 weeks. I am so excited to get back behind the wheel. One of the only few times that I'm planning on getting back behind the wheel this season. We don't know for sure yet if Adam is going to be back joining you in 2 weeks, but it is certainly on the table that in 2 weeks' time we will have our 3rd different broadcasting group, and that is going to be Trent and Adam, potentially. We know Trent will be there. We don't know if Adam will be there. We do know that I will be piloting the 77 car. So, see if we can go out and get us one for Vector's Vision next week, 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm sure I can convince Adam to do it.
No, I think we can.
I'll have to DoorDash him some beers or something.
Drink 3 or 4 of them. Don't get drunk. Just like you, Trent.
Hey, I'm a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
I can't even say what you did. I can't even say it right now.
Don't talk to me.
I can't even say it, Trent. That's how bad it is. I'm biting my tongue, trying not to expose you to the entire audience of Vector's Vision right now. The entire audience who have tuned in to the Orange Logic Grand Prix of Long Beach tonight, as we are on lap 12, down to only 6 cars on the lead lap right now. Austin Sarr, who it seemed like about half the race ago was up to a 20-second lead. Troy Moreau has not let him get very far. 2.7 the gap last time by the line. Tell you what, he might be off his own zip code, but I still think, at any time around this track, you're a moment's notice away from being checked into the infield care center rather than leading by half the track. That last, as I bring up the gap, that last time by Austin Sarr puts another 3 seconds on second place Troy Moreau. Joey Villamaret 3 seconds back behind him. And it was closer this time by with Joey Villamaret and Kyle Ritchie for 3rd and 4th, but that has extended out to about a 4-second gap. Right now, the last car in the lead lap, Matt Brewer, still got about 56 seconds, so he's got about a 10, 12-second gap on the leader, Austin Sarr, but, you know, are you able to stay on the lead lap before the pit stops start?
Hold up. We have an issue.
What's the issue, Trent?
My computer just froze. I have to reset. I'll be right back.